In a couple of hours, I'm gonna try to get an impossible shot. Today there is a solar eclipse here in Germany. Where I live, the weather is usually so terrible that you would never even see them. But today, not only is there a solar eclipse, but it's also happening at the peak sunset time, and the weather might just be right that we can capture this. This happens super rarely. However, there's one big problem. I have not prepared anything, because I didn't think that this would actually happen. I only have a couple of hours to prepare for this, and I still have to finish one YouTube video that needs to get uploaded today. So my first course of action was calling a couple of stores to see if they had any of those sunglasses left.
Ich wollte kurz fragen, ob Sie vielleicht noch so Sonnenfinsternisbrillen haben?
But, big surprise, all of them were sold out, completely. Not one of them had anything left. Now, I definitely needed to get one other thing, and that was a telephoto lens. So I found a camera store near me that was able to rent out a 70 to 200 millimeter lens.
Dieses Canon RF 70 bis 200 mm. Wann kann ich denn das abholen? Kann ich das heute direkt oder lieber morgen? Okay, super, vielen Dank.
Okay, so we got the lens right here. So let's open it up. Yeah, I'm a little nervous because, I don't know, if I drop this, you know, this is gonna be more than $2,000 that I'll have to pay back, but I think it's gonna be okay. The only thing we have to make sure is to take some safety precautions because we don't want to burn really anything inside of this lens. When you're aiming directly at the sun, it's entirely possible for that light to be focused so strongly that it can actually damage the sensor, or even worse, the internal elements of that lens. Now, this is not the most expensive lens that I ever worked with. However, it is the most expensive lens where I signed my name stating that I would be liable if anything broke. Now, sadly, all the correct ND filters and eclipse foil was already sold out. But while I was eating ice cream, I saw a little cardboard cup, and I think I got an idea that could actually work. So like, what if I take this and put it over here? Then we're gonna cut something out, and we can put our eclipse sunglasses over here. So I think if we cover up only a little bit, we can still get a full image. I also finally found someone that had a pair of those sunglasses left that they could actually give to me, so I had a lot of luck there. But before any of that, I needed to finish editing the video. So we have about, I think, 1.5 hours left to prepare everything. I still haven't even started with the paper cup idea. We are just now uploading the video. I finished the thumbnail and everything. Let me check the weather really quick to see if it's still on our side. Perfect weather. This happens never. We also found a good location. Let me pull that up. So this might actually be the view we could get. I knew about how big the hole needed to be, so I started cutting out a piece on the bottom side of the paper cup. Okay, so now kind of comes the moment of truth. We have to see if our paper cup fits over our lens, and if this is enough to still basically see all sort of 400 millimeters. Okay, so you're seeing this tree right here. We're now going to put this over. Again, if there is no change, we are good. It works perfectly. This ridiculous plan really could work. So this is the setup that we're going to use. Now we just got to pack everything, including this cheap tripod. I made sure to not only pack the camera, but lots of tools as well, so I could finish building our custom filter when I got my hands on those sunglasses. Completing the filter only took about 5 more minutes. It was finally time to head off to the location. When I arrived, I was surprised by just how crowded it was, and I started getting nervous that I wouldn't get a clean shot. I mean, there were easily more than 1,000 people on top of this hill. I walked up and then I realized something. The image that I saw online was of the sunrise. The sunset is on the complete opposite side. So we're not getting a view of the city, but I wasn't gonna give up. I taped on my filter, and luckily I did need my tripod since I could set a really fast shutter speed. Then I took a test photo and something didn't feel right. But there was nothing I could do. I just needed to wait for the eclipse to start. And slowly it happened. I started taking a few pictures and I wasn't happy. I took a few more and was able to build like a time lapse, but this wasn't what I came here for. When we got more to the sunset, I eventually made a risky decision. I thought the sun isn't that strong anymore, I'll only point my camera at the eclipse for a few seconds, it's going to be fine. So against the advice that I saw on the internet, I took off the filter. Then I zoomed in to get the 200mm shot. This I actually liked, but I wanted to get something that was even closer to sunset. Eventually I was able to line up a shot behind a few people that were at the edge of this mountain so that I could see the sun in between their heads. This one I was happy with.
Alright, so we got the shot.
The next day I returned the lens and it had no damage. But what exactly is the lesson here? Well, I had to hustle around all day getting the lens, finding a location, getting the sunglasses, finding an idea for the filter, and at the end taping everything together. All of this could have been avoided if I had just prepared properly ahead of time. You can get all different kinds of Eclipse ND filters for $50. There are also many different better locations that I could have reserved. But even though the location wasn't quite right, and the timing wasn't perfect, and the gear wasn't right, and there were dozens of people walking through the shot, if you're willing to stick to it and not give up, you can still get something good. Anyway, I hope you liked it and that I get to see you next week. Bye guys.